Hello, you are tuned in to Pipe TV, and I'm Jill Foster. I'm here today with a special guest. He is an actor, singer, and an author of a memoir entitled In a Prior Life. His name is Mr. Richard Pryor Jr. And yes, he is the eldest son of Richard Pryor. So join me in welcoming him. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm glad to be here, Jill.
Yeah, I actually read your book. When I learned that I was going to be interviewing you,
Right.
I said I need to do some research. I need to learn about who Richard Pryor Jr. is. And I saw that you had dropped a book in April
Right.
of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said I have to get it. I went to Amazon, I purchased the book, and I started reading it immediately because it gave me a digital version.
Right.
That book is phenomenal.
Thank
It
you.
is a page turner.
Thank you.
Very intriguing. The name In a Prior Life, I assumed naturally that you were going to be speaking a lot about your father. While you do speak of him and address him throughout the book, it's about you
Yes.
and your life.
Definitely.
And boy, you had some trials and tribulations,
Oh, yeah.
ups and downs, merry-go-rounds.
Oh, yeah.
You went through some stuff in the book.
Definitely.
And as a fan of your father, not really knowing you per se, you assume that a person who has his type of celebrity and his genius and, the comedic genius that he was, I see him on television, you just automatically assume that you, as his son, had a white picket fence growing up.
Right.
And so when I started reading the book and I started to see all of the things that you went through, I was like, wow. So I'm going to start off by saying, why did you write this book? What was
Well-
your purpose of putting that on you?
Well, I think is a two-edged sword. It was two different things. When I first started the book, it was like writing of the things I went through, being the child of a celebrity.
Right.
By the time I was almost finished with the book, it had turned into something else. It was about how can I help someone who's gone through some things in their life, who feel that there's nothing but darkness in front of them. How can I help somebody with my book and my story and the things I've gone through?
Right.
Because like you said, most people think that, white picket fence and, the silver spoons hanging there and all that, and they think that's all they know about your life and think that's accurate, and it's really further from the truth.
Yes.
So, it was showing people what I've actually gone through and hopefully it could help somebody.
Yeah, yeah. And I find this kind of humorous that your name, Richard Pryor Jr., but that wasn't your original name. Can you explain that? It sounds a little strange, I'm sure, to
Well,
everyone else.
when I was born, my mother always wanted to name me after her cousin, whose name was Rodney. So when I was born, my mother named me Rodney Clay Pryor. So since I was a preemie, I weighed 2 pounds 3 ounces. I had to stay in the hospital until I gained up to 5 pounds. And my mother came up to see me like almost a month later, went up to visit me, and I like to see how my son, Rodney Clay Pryor is doing. And they were like, we have no Rodney Clay Pryor. And she's like, what? We have a Richard Pryor Jr. And my father had secretly went up to the hospital and changed my name. And he told me years later, when I was probably about 17, he said if he ever would have known he was would be famous, he wouldn't have done that.
And did he give you a reason why he said that?
Because he knew what went along with that, the name. He knew
Right.
what he went through, so he knew that I was going to go through it and the things that I'd have to endure, not knowing who your friends are, not knowing if people were being honest with you,
Right.
just not being able to be yourself around people because of what the name, what the name holds.
So writing a book, was there things in it that you struggled with, or did it just kind of fall out?
I struggled with a lot of things in the book. I think it was therapeutic. It was at times when I would get physically ill during the times of writing the book. Because when you're writing a book and you're recording, because I recorded, talk about it, talking to a recorder. So a lot of times when you're recording something, you're talking about a certain things, and then all of a sudden your mind opens up and something else that you forgot about or you suppressed comes up, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, this really happened. So then you start talking about that, and then that opens the door up to something else.
Right.
And then you're like opening these doors and you're going on this roller coaster ride while you're doing it. And there was times I would actually really get physically ill.
Yeah.
And have to actually sit back and stop recording or anything, focus on it, period. And my manager would have to, push me, come on, you got to do this, you got to get it done. But it was a very difficult process to go through.
Right, because I read the book, so I understand. I'm not going to get into a lot of the minute details because it is for purchase.
Yeah.
And I want people to have that great experience that I had with it being a page turner and reading it for themselves and enjoying it for themselves.
Good.
But I do understand that you have, it's 7 of you guys as siblings.
Actually, 6 of us.
6, okay. So 6 of you guys, including you.
Right.
It's 6.
Yeah, 3
okay.
boys and 3 girls.
Okay. All right. So when you decided to write this book, did you share with it, are you close with any of your siblings? And did you share that you had this thought to write this book?
Well, yeah, I talked to my sister Rain quite a bit because we communicate almost daily. So I really talked to her a lot. When I first did the first proposal of the book, I talked to her and she was like, just make sure you make it your voice. And that's why I went to the thing of recording it.
Yes.
Because when I would record, and Ron Brar, the guy that helped write it with me, he would hear my voice and my tone, and he got so that he listened to me so much he could tell when I was recording something if it was upsetting me and if it was hurting me, so he would write that into the book.
Right.
So it was a way to get my voice into that. I wanted people to be able to go through this and picture and visualize everything that they were reading. They could actually see it, and that's what I wanted, and I think I came up with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So your siblings didn't have any input to what you were saying other than the fact that they wanted you to just have it in your voice.
Yeah, just my voice and tell my story.
Right.
And you tell my story, and no one can tell my story but me. So, Rain has written a book previously. She had a book out, Jokes My Father Never Taught Me, and it was her story. It was her voice, her story. And so mine was my story. I think the important thing was of being able to write this as far as me doing it is because I was the eldest child. And I think it was a really important thing for the eldest child to actually write a book and tell his story and his journey, his or her, whoever it was, tell their journey, what they went through with someone who wasn't famous at first.
Right.
Because all of my other siblings, he was already in the business.
Yes.
And with myself, he was not in the business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was the difference. Yeah. So, your dad, you weren't with your father a lot throughout your life, but you did spend a lot of time with him at times. You were raised primarily by your mother.
Right.
And you would go and you would stay with him in the summers and go visit with him for long periods of time.
Right.
I found in the book that you guys had a bond, a really strong bond. And I just wanted to get your perspective on how close you were to your dad and why, if you were close with him, and what made you have that closeness to him. So can you explain anything?
Well, I think the thing with my dad, first of all, is I never looked at my dad like other people looked at him. People say, well, what's it like having a father like that? I really couldn't tell you because I look at my dad like he worked at a factory. And that's the way I see him. I don't see him the way everyone else sees him. So it was really nice, being around him, touring with him. When I was younger, I used to introduce him on stage and all those things. So it was like a great experience. But getting to know the person off the camera and it's totally different than the person that everyone else saw. People, think, that he's around the house telling jokes 24/7 and all that. And he was nothing like that. My dad was an introvert. I'm an introvert. Very soft-spoken. I'm soft-spoken. So a lot of the characteristics I had, it was like he just gave them to me, Let me impart part of me into you. So it was like that coming up with him, but being able to spend time with him and do things with him and travel with him and messing up and doing the bad things I shouldn't be doing and all those things, I was always able to go to him.
Yeah.
Even the times when I didn't think I could do that, I was able to do that he was always there.
Yeah.
It may not agree with it, but he was always there.
Yeah, and I saw that when reading the book. I even though it almost appeared as if you got away with murder with your dad at times. You could do whatever you
Sometimes,
want.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
Well, I think sometimes I got away with it because I think sometimes he didn't know. Because a lot of times when you're coming up and you're staying with Dad, if he's doing a show or something like that, he's doing his own thing, and we knew, his drug life and everything is no secret. So he's doing his own thing, and I'm doing my own thing because all I have to answer to is a housekeeper or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you have free will.
Yeah, sometimes you did some stupid things.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that you hung out a lot with your family, your siblings, and I related to this part of the book because I grew up in the projects in Newark with my aunt and her 5 children at the time, and she had my mother's 3 children, and we lived on the 12th floor in the projects, and we would put on plays. I remember we put on a play, Mama's Dead, and my cousin singing, Mama's dead, never again will she hold my hand.
Yeah.
And he would beat us up and make us cry, like, y'all better cry, that sort of thing. So I related to those fun times that you had when you were with your siblings, and so there's one thing with that, and looking at what you wrote in the book, it paralleled to my life a little bit as well, because we all have skeletons in our closet. And as we grow up and we come into ourselves and we're living a good life and we don't look like what we went through, and we have jobs and we've had children and we're living a good life now, we're a part of society, and we don't tend to pull those bones out of the closet.
Right.
We just keep them pushed in the back.
Yeah.
So I want you to know that I am amazed that you had the transparency, the chutzpah to be able to write this and to share it with the public, because I think that all of us have, something that we need to release. And I really can relate to you saying that, when you started writing, things started coming, and it was kind of heavy.
Yeah.
But with that, I just wanted to get that out.
Yeah.
I just wanted
I
to
think
say, and that's why people need to get this book.
Yeah, because I think it's important, especially in our African American community.
Yes.
We don't talk about stuff.
We sure don't.
We know that there's a mess going on. We know that uncles are doing this. We know that auntie's doing that. We know that grandma's doing this. We know the brother's doing this. We know that that brother's gay and doing his own thing, and he's singing in the church and doing everything else, whatever he's doing. We know all those things.
Right.
But for us to step up and talk about it, that so-and-so's gay, so-and-so is messed up, so-and-so messes with them kids, all those things, if we bring those up, it's taboo.
Right.
It's automatically, we don't talk about that. We don't discuss those things. We don't bring those things out. We keep it like this. But what happens with that is that people who are sick don't get better.
That's right.
People that are going through in their mind, it don't get better because it's, that's Uncle so-and-so's. You know how he is.
Right.
He is crazy. And instead of dealing with the things that we go through and learning to say that it's okay to have mental illness, it's okay to have depression, it's okay to go through this, and these situations that we go through in our lives like everybody else goes through.
Right.
We need to have a voice and someone to be able to say, hey, I went through all these things.
Right.
Like my book, I stated how, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I wanted to tell it all.
Absolutely. And you did.
Yeah.
And you did. And for those folks out there who think about, they want to, they have a white picket fence type of mentality in life, and they'll be like, oh my God. When I read this book, I said, this brother is so real. Oh my goodness. When you walked in, when I greeted you today, I just felt close to you.
Yeah.
Because you've been so real with putting your life out in
But
this book.
even with that white picket fence, after a while it starts to fray and starts to tear apart.
That's right.
So you may have a white fence, but as time goes along, it starts to peel and to blister and all those things. So
Yeah. And this book is freeing for those who are keeping those bones in the closet.
Right.
They read this book, they're going to relate, and it's going to be freeing for them.
I
And that's
hope so.
why I hope that everyone, you guys hear me, go get this book. You'll enjoy it. So there was a part in the book where I found humorous, and I was laughing because you had ran away and you were singing this song, Don't Nobody Care About Me, Don't Nobody Love Me.
Oh yeah, you got it
Yeah.
a little backwards, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna
okay.
sing because I could.
Yeah.
It's still in my
Don't
head.
Nobody love me.
Yeah, nobody
care about me.
cares.
Okay.
Yeah. I was always dramatic. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
You jumped
And there
off
was
the page
something.
when
There
I
was
read that.
there was something that I can't remember exactly what it is right off the thing that I wanted, but I would always have this thing where I would say, "Well, don't nobody love me." And I got into it one day, and it was like the afternoon. My aunt was over and my mother at my mom's house, and I got into it so much I couldn't even get myself out of it. I mean, I got so deep into Don't Nobody Love Me, and it started into a cry, and I started crying, and while I'm crying, I'm still saying it. So it was like, don't nobody love me, don't nobody care. And I was going on for so long till my mother just yelled out, you're right, don't nobody love you, don't nobody care. So I was like, I'm running away. So I get my stuff, what I could take, because I didn't buy nothing, so you ain't taking too much out of here.
Right.
And I go around to the pool hall where my great grandmother had a pool hall, and I said I'm gonna hide in her car until somebody comes again. They're gonna be looking for me.
Yeah.
No one ever came.
No. And you got hungry.
No one looked for me. Nobody. I remember like raising up, peeping, like looking out the windows. Anybody coming? Nobody. And I stayed like that until it started getting dark. And then I was like, I'm getting hungry, so.
Yeah.
So
And
I
your mom just welcomed you back.
tucked
and
my
like
tail
nothing.
and went
Right.
back on the
Right.
house. Yeah.
So I can see, even with that incident that occurred, that you were, in a sense, crying out. I believe that you were crying out because for attention. Because I mean, let's face it, your father was getting all kinds of attention. I mean, you knew that he was somebody.
Right.
And I can see how that could be like, you want to.
That and a little spoiled because I
Yeah.
was my mother's only boy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, when you're the oldest and the first one.
Right. Right.
And then that was when I had another sister under me, Tammy, and then I had, my mother just had my little sister, Elanda. So, hey, what's going on here? I'm not the center of attention anymore. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. So did you, some of the things that you got involved in, on a more serious note, do you think that you tried certain things because, I know part of it was your experiences that you went through as a child, but some of the choices that you made throughout, was it that you were seeking attention, or you just like to do what you wanted to do? I mean,
I think at the time when you're going through certain things in your life, you think you're doing almost everything you're doing is because I just want to do it.
right. Okay.
I just want to have fun and I just want to do this. In retrospect, when you look back on it and things that you go through in life, and when you can sit back and when you're out of the fog, you can sit back and you look at it, you're like, I was hurting. I was hurting, and yeah, I may have had fun doing this, or enjoying this when I was doing this drug or whatever it was I was doing.
Right.
But you learn why you were doing that.
Yeah.
Whether it was for attention, whether it was like finding people who were like-minded just like you. Because what we tend to do is when we're going through something in our mind and we're like really like this, we want to find the exact same person that's just like that. We want to find
You found it in your dad.
Yeah, found it in my dad. We want to find the exact same thing so that we can like pull together and we feel the same way. We woe is me the same way. We were all hurt the same way. We were struggled this way. We were abused this way. And it's a cycle. And we
Right.
fall into it and we grab a hold of it and we take it for what it is.
Right. Right.
But when you come out of that and able to look at it, and when you like step back and you're like, man, I was so sick in my mind and hurting so bad that I was willing to do this or I was willing to do that.
Yeah.
Just to feel something and someone to understand what I was going through and say, it's okay to get high because you're going through this.
Yeah.
And that was like a thing with me reaching out with like my dad at the time. I was shooting coke in my arm.
Yeah.
And I'm calling him up and I'm like, Dad, guess what I just did? And he's like, what, son? And I just shot coke in my arm. And he's like, it'll be okay. And it infuriated me because he didn't get upset.
Right.
And then when I look back on it years later, I was
out for help.
But he was high at the same time too.
Yeah, he was.
You know, but I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing the fact that why isn't he responding the way I want him to respond?
Right.
I want a reaction out of that.
Right.
I deserve a reaction, and I didn't get it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So you, you know, you realized that you were attracted to young men growing up, and this is another time that I actually laughed a lot through this book because it was kind of humorous the way you wrote it out. I know it's a serious situation, but even when you got mad when you were called Lionel by your mom, that was hilarious to me.
Yes, it would. If you would have seen my face when I finally saw what Lionel looked like. My mother said, I would do something, she'd be like, sit down, Lionel.
Yeah.
And all the time, and I'm like, and you know, you wonder, what's a Lionel first? And then when you get a little older, who's Lionel?
Yeah.
When I saw Lionel, one time.
Explain who Lionel was.
Lionel was my mother's hairdresser.
Right.
I didn't know this, but I remember being at the church one time, New Morning Star Baptist Church, and I remember looking up there and this man with this bandana wrapped around with all the colors in the hair and they're hanging on the side. I was so upset.
Yeah.
I was like, that's Lionel.
Yeah.
My mother's been calling me this. This is.
And you were hurt.
Oh,
You were devastated.
If you would have saw Lionel, you would have been hurt too.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
were
I was
devastated.
hurt. Yeah, I was.
Devastated.
Oh, I was devastated.
And so, but you did everything in your power to not reveal that you had an attraction to men.
Right.
On the flip side, that's what you did, and to the point where you joined the Navy.
Yes, I thought that was.
And you were just walking into the celebration.
I thought that was going to make me a man. I got there and they said, "Welcome to the Miss America, the ship." I was like, "Uh-oh." It was like, it was on like Donkey Kong. It was. I had never seen anything like that in my life because I was on a ship and there's like 5,000 guys on my aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
That's before they were co-ed, and it was like, this is like a red like this, just like my great grandmother's house. You had the guys, you know, dressed in their, got their little short towels wrapped around them at the video arcade machine and looking at everybody and cruising, and I was like, man.
Yeah.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah. So, and that's what led to you coming out to your parents, and they were very accepting.
Yes, I
eventually. Your mom had a little moment,
she had her moment, yeah. But I didn't, you know, when you go through things in life, you know, you think a lot of times when you're in something that you're stuck in something and you're there. When I look back on my life now, as far as the things I've gone through, even the people I slept with and chose to be with and all those things, I look at what happened prior to that and the men that sexually abused me and all those things, and how that was so prevalent in my life, and how it made an impact on the decisions that you make. When you go through things like that, it creates decisions for you and a road for you that maybe you don't want to go down, and maybe you didn't realize you were going down and why you're going down those roads.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's true. I found that because you also, you know, you went from, you know, sleeping with the same sex, and you did wound up getting married. You were almost married once before, but that led to you joining the service. But you married, and you actually have a son.
Yes.
His name is Randus, right? Right. And how old is Randus?
Randus is 28 years old.
28 years old? Okay.
Yeah, more than time.
Okay, and how's your relationship with your son?
Oh, great.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I actually saw him before I came here. He was like, where are you going, Dad? I'm like, interview.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's still my little bitty boy. I still look at him as a little kid and everything. It's kind of hard to not look at that, you know.
Yeah.
And but it's I mean, I've been through some things and learned some things, and you know.
You have, and you actually forgave at the end of the book. And I want to make sure, I want to ask this question.
Okay.
Did anyone, although when you forgive someone, you forgive them,
Right.
even if they don't forgive you, but I'm just curious for myself, has anyone apologized to you? Anyone in your family or anybody ever?
No.
No?
No.
But that's great that you
they
apologized
haven't.
and you forgave them.
Right.
Well, you didn't apologize, but you forgave
Well,
those.
but you know
who
what
hurt
it
you.
is? In order to go on with your life
Right.
and to feel better about yourself, it's not about that person saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry I did this." If you're forgiving them, you're forgiving them. But it's about you being able to go on with your life and to better yourself. Whether they ever acknowledge it or not, which some of them won't.
Right.
Some of them never will.
Right.
But I can't focus on that and giving all that energy to negativity
Right.
and how they treated me and how this person hurt me and how this person abused me. I can no longer do that because they're then dictating my life
Right.
and my journey.
Yes.
And I have to dictate my own journey and my own life.
Yes. And I'm glad that you said that because that's a sure sign of just loving yourself and just loving in general. And that's how you ended your book, which was wonderful, and the dedication to your mom. So again, I enjoy you being here.
Thank you for having me.
I can go on and on having a conversation with you because there's a lot more in this book, and I want people to buy this book.
Yes, please buy
There
the book.
is, outside of the book, you are an actor and you're also a singer. Can
Right.
you enlighten us folks on what you're doing in that lane and what's coming up for you and the things to try to before we
Sure.
wrap up?
Sure, I'm working on there's a play called The Interrupted Journey. I'm actually working with that now, and it's co-starring with myself and Sashi Parker, who is Shirley MacLaine's daughter. And it's based off a true story of Betty and Barney Hill. And it happened in the early 60s. And what it was about was that they went on a trip and they lost like 2 hours. They couldn't remember, and they went to a psychiatrist and they told the exact same story about being abducted.
Wow.
So it's a play about that, and we're actually doing, and I'm playing the husband and she's playing my wife in the thing, and it's actually the actual tapes from the recording, we're actually doing the exact lines from that. And so I'm working on that. I'm actually working on this. I want this as a show in a prior life, and also the guy Ron Brower
I'll be
who
in the
helped.
front row.
Yeah, thank you. And Ron Brower right now is actually working on the screenplay right now. We have some
Okay.
productions that are interested in this as a feature film.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I would love to hear you sing too.
Oh yeah.
Because I know that you can drop the mic on folks.
Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia, yeah, oh sweet Georgia, yeah, go back home, yeah, on my mind.
And you did mention earlier on when I greeted you that you are in the choir at your church. And can you talk about what you're doing with the church now?
Well, I'm just actually the church is an interesting thing is that my ex-wife is now my pastor, and that shows you how things can change in life, how directions can change. People you couldn't stand and people you actually really just hated, and how God can turn those things around if you allow that to happen. But I'm the head of my praise and worship team in church. I do that. But other than that, then singing on stage and performing. I do cabaret. I'm a MAC-nominated cabaret performer here in New York City.
Yes.
So I do that as well.
And you have a name, right?
Richard Pryor Jr.
Richard Pryor Jr. Oh, you go under Richard Pryor
Oh
Jr.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was. I don't
That
do
was
the,
back
That was
in
the
the
drag
day.
queen.
That was
yeah. We don't.
She was fierce.
Thank you.
She was fierce and she looked good.
Thank
too,
you.
I have to tell you.
Yes, she's in the book. Yeah.
She was a pretty thing.
Thank you.
But yeah. So I just want. What church do you go to? Do you want people? To
Yeah,
know?
I go to a church. It's called Promise Babe, Promise Cat. We're under Pilgrim Assemblies, and the head church is in Brooklyn on Central Avenue. And Pastor DeBoer Crow is the pastor. Used to be Roy E. Brown used to be the pastor of it, and he passed away, and he passed it on to her. So we're underneath that umbrella.
Okay. Okay. So, is there anything else you want to be able to share with the viewing audience?
Well, the viewing audience, if you know of anybody who's into some darkness in their life, and they're struggling, and they're going through, and they're hurting, and they're in a lot of pain, and they don't see a way out, whether it's addiction or the way they're carrying themselves, the way they don't care about anything, and they see no hope, and they're depressed and all those things, get this book for them. Allow them to read the book, or share this with them if you can, or gift it to someone, or a community center, a homeless center, or anything. If you could gift this book to somebody, anybody, and have them actually really read the book, and seeing that you can come out of the darkness that you think that you have to stay in.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
I think
you.
that that's good advice, and I back it 100%.
Thank you so
I
much.
agree.
Thank you.
I'm Jill Foster, and you've been tuned into Pipe TV. I want to thank Richard Pryor Jr. for being in the studio with me today. Make sure you get his book. I tell you, it's a page turner, and you heard it from his mouth to your ears that this book can save a life and help others. So make sure you pick up a copy for yourself. You won't be sorry. Again, this has been Pipe TV. Thanks for joining us.